Guys, this is Chef Suresh Natyal. Today I'm gonna discuss about soup. So it's a very good topic to discuss on, right? So soups are performing a very vital role, right, in our eating habits, in our life, right? So it has become a very popular uh, part of a meal, right? So uh, I'll tell you a simple thing what is soup is all about. So soup is a flavor and nutritious liquid food, right? Which is served at the beginning of a meal, right? Or a snack, right? So I'll just tell you about uh, the traditionally in France, right? So soup was a slice of bread on which the contents of a cooking was poured, right? It is I'm telling you, in France how they have a soup, right? So now soup was designated as an unstrained vegetable meat or fish soups garnished with a bread, pasta or rice, right? Soup in regularly basis, people have soup because they want a flavorful liquid which has a nutrition, right? And in most restaurant hotels, guests have the soup because they want some nutritiousness, right, in form of liquid, right? And now uh, I'll discuss on a technical basis, right? So in technical language, there is a classification of soups, right? So what there are these classifications, I'll tell you, right? So soups are divided in clear soups, thick soups, right? Cold soups or international soups. Under the clear soups, there is there are broths, consomme, right? And under the thick soups, there are puree soups, velouté soups, cream soups, bisque or chowder. They are the form of thick soups, right? And there are some cold soups. There are some international soups, right? I'll discuss on these later, right? So I'm just discussing first the broths, right? Broths are, as I said, broths are clear soups. So in simple language, what broth means, right? Broth is a clear liquid which has no thickness, but it has a flavor, right? Any flavor. It is a flavor of vegetable stocks, right? Any flavor. You can give the flavor of tomato, right? You can give the flavor of meat. You can give the flavor of any herbs, right? You can give the flavor of meat, but it has no thickness, but it has a flavor of anything, fresh herbs, some stock, right? Have you heard about the mistroni? Mistroni is a, again, it's a broth. It's a tomato based broth, right? It has a vegetable, but and it's a soup from Italy, right? So you can say it comes under the category of international soups, and it also comes the category of broths, right? So broth is a stock based soup, right? Any vegetable, any meat stock, right? Which is not thickened, right? So the second one is again, it's the clear soup, the consomme. What consomme means, right? Consomme is a clear soup, right? Which is clarified with egg whites, right? So don't think that we are making. veg consomme, and we are clarifying that with egg whites. Egg white is a clarifying agent, and in foreigner countries, they think eggs are vegetarian, right? So if you want some vegetable consomme, you have to uh, if you want to use egg white, you can use. If you don't want to use egg whites, do not use. Just skim all the dirtiness from the soups which comes on boiling, right? And we in consomme we regularly or we usually use egg whites to clarify that one, right? It's an old saying that if one can read the date on the dim thrown in 4 liters of consomme, there it is a good consomme, right? It is a named after the garnish used in the soup, right? So consomme again, the clear soups, right? The clear any vegetable stock, right? Any flavorful stock, right? You have to give the flavor, right? And clarify with the egg whites. So that is there are many types of consommes, right? So now I'll discuss you the puree soups. What are the puree, right? Have you heard about the cream of tomato? Not you can say cream of tomato is also puree soups. Cream of that puree of uh, green peas, right? So there are many soups, right? Puree soups means you have to puree uh, you have to pureed that one, and that becomes a soup, right? So one can roast the vegetable to give a better flavor, right? So puree soups are thick soups made by cooking and then pureeing any kind of vegetables or ingredients used in the soups. Like we pureed mm, the green peas for getting the green pea soup, right? And tomato also. Pureed the you We usually pureed the tomatoes for getting the mm, tomato soup, right? So these are the puree soups, right? And second one is velouté. Velouté is again a thick soup, right? Which is thickened with a blonde roux, right? Passed and finished with a liso, right? They may be vegetable or chicken or stock base. For example, velouté of chicken, right? So I just mentioned a blonde roux. What is blonde roux? Blonde roux, uh, blonde roux is between a brown or white. So to you don't have to means um, give it white color. You don't have to give it brown color. It's it's a between of both these, right? Nor it's white, nor it's brown. So it's a between of these two, right? It becomes blonde roux. So you can make any velouté of chicken, right, from this blonde roux, right? Roux is made by cooking equal, and what is roux? It's a equal quantity of butter and flour, right? You have to cook it, but not too much, right? So it's called a roux, right? A blonde roux is obtained by cooking roux until it turns a blonde in color, right? Again, it's between a white and brown, right? The texture of velouté is smooth and velvety, right? It'll like a velvety and smooth, uh, uh, and it should be smooth and velvety, right, in texture, right. The third one, uh, the cream, right, cream soups. And cream soups, you can say cream of tomato, right, cream of pea soups, cream of spinach soup. Again, the cream soup is a past or thick soup, right. You have to strain it, and then you have to add a cream, right. It may be vegetable based or even meat based, but most commonly vegetables are used to prepare cream soups, right. In classical recipes, it is thickened with bechamel and finished with creams, right. Again, you can puree the soups. It became the puree soups, right. And after that, in finishing, just add the cream, and it became the cream soups, right. Any vegetable, from any meat, right. Examples include cream of tomato, cream of mushrooms, cream of chicken. In modern trends, however, avoid usage of bechamel. What is bechamel? Bechamel, again, you can obtain bechamel sauce is from the white roux. White roux is uh, equal quantity of butter and flour cooked with the milk, right. And uh, right, so it becomes a bechamel sauce. It's a mother sauce. It's our primary mother sauce, right. So you can add any flavor, right. You can add studied onion in bechamel sauce, right, and strained, and just get the flavor of studied onion. And you can add that mm, mm, nutmeg, right, little bit nutmeg, then you get the bechamel sauce, right. So because of health reasons and to retain the delicate flavors of the vegetables, bechamel sauce nowadays chefs are avoiding, because it has a fat base. It has a butter, and that what we call flour. So it becomes a little bit fatty. So most of the chefs are now avoid avoiding that bechamel sauce. Instead of adding bechamel sauce, you can just add little bit cream, right. So it became a cream soup, right. So bisque, what is bisque? Again, these all are technical terms. So it's a shellfish based soup, right, which is passed and maybe garnished with dices of seafood used, right. Traditionally, it is thickened with rice, finished with cream. For example, lobster bisque. So traditionally, bisque are finished with the rice, right, and finished with the cream, right. So I have given the example of lobster bisque, right. Now it comes chowder. Many of the peoples heard about the that famous Manhattan or clam chowder, right. So chowders are not strained. It's are not strained, and traditionally they are seafood based. So chowders are traditionally seafood based soups thickened with potatoes and finished with cream or milk. So basically chowders are thickened with the potatoes, right, puree of potatoes, and finish with the cream or milk or dices of potatoes, right. So for example, clam chowder, seafood chowder. Chowder are from the USA. So uh, and the most classical version comes from Manhattan. So it's in America, and hence the name Manhattan chowder, right. So cold soups. So in classification of soups, I have told you there are cold soups. So as the name suggests, these soups are served cold but not chilled. So these soups are served cold but not chilled, right? Chilling would dull the flavor and soup would taste bland. So if you are chilling your cold soups, so it'll dull the flavors, right? And the soup will taste blend. All right. So examples of cold soup include jellied consome gazpacho, right? Which is extra. So telling you about I'm not telling you about many of the cold soups, but many of the peoples knows about the gazpacho. Gazpacho is what? Gazpacho is a Spanish soup, right? So it is prepared from the cucumber, right? Cucumber, capsicum, right? Olive oil, soaked bread, right? Garlic, and just churned, right? And some herbs. Just churn the cucumbers, capsicum, right? Uh, Soaked bread, olive oil, and garlic. Just churn into the mixture, and it'll become the soupy consistency. And it you can add some that I call ice, but not too much to cold it. Right? Just serve your gazpacho uh, with uh, uh, with some on the bed of ice, right? Not too much on the bed of ice, not chilled. Do not serve it chilled. Again, it'll dull the flavors, right? So it became the gazpacho, right? If you want to strain, you can strain the soup, right? And just have that. Just adjust the seasoning according to your taste, and it'll become the cold soup, right? It'll freshen your it'll freshen uh, it'll it'll give you a nice fresh flavors of cucumbers, and it'll just freshen yours. It'll fresh you, right? So there are some international soups, right? What international soups are all about? So every country has their international soup, right? Like Italy have the minestrone, right? India have their mulligatawny soup, right? Spain have their gazpacho, and right. So again, every country have their international soup, right? So these are the soups which are known internationally, right? So uh, France have the French onion soup, right? So these are the soups, right? So thank you so much, guys. Thank you.